Hey, welcome to my channel. If you are here with me today, we are doing a collective reading instead of the usual pick a card. With this reading, I have a question in mind to set the intention of what would be most helpful for the viewer, you, the audience, at this point in time. So we'll grab some tarot. Actually, we're going to start with an oracle. We're going to start with the Oracle of the Mermaids and just see what we get come through. Obviously, my setup is a little bit different tonight because it is a night time, so we've got a little bit different lighting, etc. But I'm sure we'll still get there. That's what we want. Okay, so the cards that we have pulled, there is 33 with experiments, 41 with sisterhood, 40 with yearning, and 14 with waterfly. I'm just going to take a moment to see if I can get something come through. Not yet, not yet. Okay. As always, only take what resonates out of the reading. Don't try to make anything fit. If this reading for you today doesn't fit, doesn't mean that it won't in the future. The readings are timeless. However, I would be just as likely in this case to saying maybe try a different reader or a different video for this collective reading. There's more people than I would usually have in a single pile. So for the first card with experiments, it says manipulation of nature, forcing change, cruelty in the pursuit of knowledge, and arrogance. And I feel for this card that you may be particularly dealing with a very arrogant person. I get the sense that somebody is making things really hard for you, and that this card is maybe less about you yourself experimenting in a positive way, but rather someone experimenting in the form of manipulation, and that's that arrogant person that I'm connecting the two together. I am getting that if you just keep persisting, that you will get to the light at the end of the tunnel. It's just not a great time at the moment. It's just sort of making your way through the darkness to get there. I do have to say, in reference to something that I've been experiencing, so feeling called to share with you all makes me think that it may be something that you are experiencing as well. I am an empath, and I tend to feel people around me with their emotions and vibration. When I live with a person, there's a couple of things here. Like, I'm a little bit newish at it, but also when you're with someone all the time, it can be very hard to tell or learn to separate the energy, and then all of a sudden they're not there, and then I feel like a totally different person. Like, my mood is more stabilized, I'm overall more positive and happy in general, and I understand you can look at this from a point of view of if you and that person aren't getting along, then of course you're not going to be as happy and positive and all the rest of it, but it doesn't necessarily need any specific issue to arise or event to have happened to trigger any of this. It's almost like just a case of being around that person, and maybe things aren't great for them in their mind and their feelings, and because of that I'm feeling it, and it's not something that I do on purpose. There's a time and a place for it. During healing sessions is fantastic because in a way that still maintains the privacy for the recipient. It can be very helpful in knowing what to work on, but in this case it's something that I don't seem to have control over, as it's almost all the time. So thanks for wading through that with me on that little tangent. Hopefully that makes a little bit more sense to you guys. I know it can sound crazy to say that sometimes the feelings that you're experiencing aren't necessarily just your feelings. Obviously we're not taking away accountability or anything like that. You know yourself better than anyone else, and it can take a little while to learn how to discern this. But it shouldn't be written off so easily. Getting mentioned to say that you don't see the brightness that you carry within yourself. It's like your shine, you don't realize how much you shine, and it's that old like saying or situation playing out where this person does see how much you shine, and I think it really bothers them egoically out of comparison. So it's particularly important around this time, more than usual or ever, to maintain your close supportive relationships. The card that I'm looking at the moment is Sisterhood, which is friendship, allies, compatible souls, loyalty, joy, and delight. Yeah. Any deep, supportive, nurturing friendships that you have will be crucial to this time that you're in. I feel like they're going to help you navigate through the darkness to get to the light. Don't all the good friends? The next card that we're looking at is Yearning, longing for someone, undesired, separation, and pining. And I feel like you could be at a state of grief from this person that's been quite arrogant. So, this will play out a little bit differently for different people because it is a collective reading. So there's a lot more people than usual, but I'm getting two things. There's like, if you're in the relationship, maybe the partner has been a little bit manipulative or arrogant. There's something there. Maybe it's not all the time. Maybe it's just been a one-off thing when there's been a bit of pressure applied, or just a difference in opinion or seeing eye to eye. But there's another situation where there is definitely a separation that has already occurred, and it's not that you would want to get back with them, but it's the case that I guess you're grieving that loss, and you're sorry for all the things that it could have been. It was like you're grieving the potential outcome that relationship had, even though it's not the way that it's played out. And it's that old saying that like you can't lead a horse to water. Oh, sorry, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Even if you know that this person still deeply, deeply loves you, and they're choosing to be stubborn, or they don't have the emotional availability, maybe they genuinely think that they're right and they just refuse to work in with you. Yeah, sorry if you're in that situation. I do feel like this is a stronger energy. Maybe if you are single and you're grieving that loss of the partner. For those that are still in the relationship, it seems like more of like a rocky time, or like the rough waters, uncertain times, but it doesn't seem to be quite as heavy. So maybe not as much as played out. It is just really highlighting the need to be really taking care of yourself in this time. That expression of loving yourself and, you know, I guess paying attention and focusing on yourself, putting the work in with yourself. And when you really look after yourself, it's like all the care that you would have given to another person that you wouldn't give to yourself. So when you're on your own, or you have quite a bit of downtime and separation from that person, or a bit of a break from them, it can be, you know, it's so easy to want to like try to fix things or be pining for the person and just feeling sorry for ourselves. And it's like, it's fantastic to grieve and to go through the motions of it all, and, you know, we need to process our feelings and everything. But, you know, if there's a way that you're able to like take care of yourself simultaneously, is really lovely. It'll be like something like, you know, taking a day to look after yourself. Maybe it's getting a massage, or it doesn't have to cost money. It could be taking a bath at home, when you would have normally taken that time to be checking in with them and spending time on them, or maybe worrying about the situation. So I mean, you can still worry about it while you're looking after yourself, but it's that level of self-care and self-love that's really important. And if nothing else, if it's not just looking after yourself and taking care of yourself, sometimes it can be showing our inner child that we really do love and are supportive and are there for ourselves. It can be quite freeing, I think. Okay, so moving on to the last mermaid card we have is Water Flight. Heaviness lifts, burdens are cast away, and weightlessness. I feel like this is just when you put yourself first. If you're still trying to hold on to something, still trying to make something work, still trying to make something fit when it doesn't, it's only going to weigh you down and hold you back. It's that simple. As soon as you can let go of whatever this is, you know, it's that like ascension and freedom and the weightlessness. Okay, so that's it for the Mermaid Oracle. What are we called to next? Okay, so I also am using some Chakra Love cards tonight. Okay, that's what we want. So this card, we have compassion. Resolve your conflicts with compassion. And this is with the heart chakra, and the crystal is jade. I actually haven't brought any jade in with this setup tonight, but that's okay. Do you know I have a piece I'm going to go grab just to show you what it is. Okay, so maybe a couple of pieces, but they're both jade. Okay. With the mention of the crystal, I just feel like that would be an excellent crystal to meditate with in assisting with the opening or the balancing or the healing of the heart chakra itself. You may just have some sort of blockage to work through around that, and from what I've come across so far, it does seem like it's just a case of self-love. And if there's you know, there's no bigger journey than that of self-love. Okay, so next, stepping into the tarot. So we're using the Light Seers Tarot. That was meant to stay reversal. Okay, cool. Don't mind me just turning that deck upside down. It actually came out upside down and I turned it upright, but got the nod to take it as a reversal. I don't always take reversals unless I feel called to, so. Okay, so the 3 cards that we got, I'm just going to see if I can clarify these positions. The cards that we got is the Chariot in the upright, the 6 of Pentacles on the side here, and the Emperor in reverse. So okay, before I even go into clarifying the position, I did just get some messages through very briefly of what these could be for. So the Chariot is just taking action, and then the Pentacle, the 6 of Pentacles, in finding something more reciprocated. Oh my god, I can't even talk right now. Reciprocating with a person that's not overpowering. Okay, let's see if we get some more on it. Okay, so the Chariot was action. They're just saying this is what you have to do, is take action, so that makes heaps of sense. Okay, the reciprocation is just what you're looking for, and the Emperor in reverse is what you're avoiding. So it sort of matches up quite well with what I said with the message that we got come through for that. Okay, so we have one more deck to use. We're using the Waite Tarot as well. We'll just see if we can get anything else come up here. So we've got Justice in reverse. So I feel like that's where you've started off, where things haven't been just, they haven't been right. Someone's not being fair. Okay, that's all we need. And that Ace of Swords, it's like gaining that clarity, that mental clarity to, you know, you like, I guess you have the clarity to see and understand what's going on, but to make a decision and take action. And there's also the 5 of Wands here. I just feel like it's relative to the energy of this person, the Emperor in reverse being just overpowering in general, but the feeling that I'm getting from the 5 of Wands, it's just quite simply that they're a combative person. So even if they never really hit too hard below the belt, it's just always going to embody that nature where they are just combative regardless. So I don't know if you're dealing with a person that sometimes has that like oppositional defiance, where it's almost, you can just say something that has, you know, nothing to do with anything, but they just disagree with the fact that you've said it. You're the person that said it. I should highlight that this doesn't have to be relationship based, right? This can be anybody in our lives. Like it could have just been a close person that's moved away and something's happened, and you know, but letting that old relationship go is making room for the new ones to come through, right? That's what we're looking for, is something that's more reciprocal. And just understanding that maybe what we had, as much as we love that person or that thing, whatever it is, it's, you know, maybe we're actually better off for, you know, loss is never nice, grief is never nice. And when I'm saying grief here, I don't feel like this is about having physically lost a person to having a person pass over. It's not that feeling. It's just like a person that's definitely still alive, that is just, we're in separation or detachment from, or I don't feel like it's no contact. I feel like there is contact, but there's push-pull. It's a bit weird. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to look at some of the crystals that I have pulled out for the reading for tonight. So this is my beautiful smoky quartz that I love. Heaps of little refracted parts with rainbows and all sorts of bits inside. Hopefully you can see it. You might actually see it a bit better now than you would normally over daytime because the lighting's better for the crystal itself. But yeah. Okay, so smoky quartz, so generally protective from negative energies. I feel like this would actually transmute other people's energies like really well. The only thing I do have to say with like any of the darker stones, crystals, is that you should keep them cleansed regularly. And when I say regularly, I don't mean once a month or once a week. I mean like every 2 or 3 days, like every day if you can. It's, to me, it was always like a chore, but it's just a religious, like it's a part of my practice now that I don't skip out on. Because sometimes they can, whether it's that they're transmuting a lot, sometimes I do feel like they tend to absorb so much or repel so much that they need that time to either be cleansed and cleared or charged. So maybe for the smoky, it would just be a case of needing to charge it. You know, there's many ways that you can do it, whether it's just using like selenite. If you've got a selenite bowl or another piece of selenite, you can pop it next to it. You know, people put crystals out under the moon or in the sun. If you're going to do it in the sun over a long term, be aware that sun can make them fade. You know, you can do all sorts of weird and wonderful things. People put a bowl of water out under the moon or a full moon and then will, I guess, rinse their crystals in them. Of course, you want to be careful what crystals you're using aren't going to get damaged by being in contact with the water. But yeah, again, lots of beautiful practices that you can do to charge the crystals. Another one, if you've got a crystal that you seem to be having like a really hard time trying to clear some funky energy off of, is to just bury it in the earth and, you know, use your intuition as to when it's ready to come back out. And not only does it clear, but it does, to me, I feel like it comes back charged. So that's the smoky. What are we talking about next? So we've got the spirit quartz as well. Absolutely love it. This, to me, it's like, I don't even know what I can say that isn't in part of its name, right? The spirit quartz, for me, it is pretty self-explanatory that it is like being in contact with spirit, being like in touch and alignment, in tune with spirit. Maybe you're getting like messages, maybe this is a pile that, like a collective group here that, I guess if you're already here at a reading, then you're already open to this sort of stuff. So it'd be interesting to see if you actually do get your own messages and whatnot as well. Okay. You know, for those of us that don't, the purple, the spirit quartzes can also be really great for like the crown chakra stuff. So if you want to work with spirit quartz or on a crown chakra, that would be a beautiful crystal to work with. Also, I just need to mention, guys, I understand crystals are expensive and we love them all, and you know, there's only so many that we can have, and we don't all need these big beautiful pieces. We can have, you know, the small tumbles, and it's not about like how big the crystal is. We can still do a lot of work with a tumble, but they're also great because you can like pop them in your pocket or your bag when you go out, and you know, it's easy to carry around with you. Okay, so the next one that I have is Caribbean calcite, or I think it can also be referred to as like a blue aragonite or argonite. I actually can't remember how to pronounce it. And I believe there's a little bit of calcite in with it as well in this other pieces. This is one of my favorite crystals, and it's funny because when you look at it, to me, it always looked like, I guess, waves rolling in from the ocean or the sea, almost meeting like a cliff face or a beach. Yeah, they're both kind of similar, but to me this is like super calming, super grounding, almost soothing. Like it's just an overall really beautiful crystal to have on hand. Also, it's kind of like, I do notice sometimes when I do like energy healing with people, if there's ever a need to ground and balance out a person's feminine and masculine side. This is after a session when we're trying to, I guess, integrate with all the energies and everything. Sometimes I can give a person a blue tiger's eye for their masculine, their right hand side, and the Caribbean calcite for their feminine left hand side, just to help sort of bring it all into balance. So, you know, take it or leave it. If that seems like something you're drawn to or feel called to, then that's fantastic. Okay, and the very last piece that I have is this beautiful piece of fluorite. And I love fluorite. I don't think I know anyone who doesn't. And this was actually a tower that snapped in half. So I'm super sad that it snapped in half. But I guess it's still beautiful nonetheless. And, you know, there's still lots of work that can be done with it anyway. And maybe that's how you're feeling. Maybe you are feeling a little bit weathered, or, you know, sometimes we tend to think of ourselves as damaged goods, but I like to think as we get older and different things happen in life that it's just character building, and it really is aiding in the full depth of the person that we're going to become as we move through life. So fluorite can be great for a number of things. I think it's just one of those like beautiful stones that's used for everything, sort of like clear quartz and amethyst, and it's like, I guess, just a popular one. I believe it can be like a little bit of protection, but it can really be activating that third eye as well. For me, it's like a very, very spiritual, very, I guess, like invoking piece to work with. Weird fun fact, when I have done meditations with fluorite before, I have actually been given the message that it can help rewire the brain, but I believe that, you know, meditation in general could do that, so maybe it just assists in that process or enhances it in some way, but also to help with posture. So yeah, that would be interesting. And I mean, anything that I say with any of these crystal guys, just like, you know, you can Google it and you'll get 20 different things. So just take what resonates, what you feel called to for this moment, what fits your situation. And, you know, if it doesn't sound like it's for you, then just leave it. But so that's everything that I've got from tonight's reading. I hope that it resonated and was helpful in some way. If it was, please let me know, and maybe just give us a like or a comment or something like that to actually let us know that it was. It's interesting as I'm doing these videos, because I originally only planned to be doing no more than one a week, and I didn't even want to set a specific day of upload or anything like that, because I just want to take the pressure off and I don't want to have that strict routine. But as I find myself going, not only are we hitting that at least one a week, almost on the same day every time, but I've felt called quite a few times to actually, you know, get a couple of extra readings put out there, regardless of some of the stuff that's been going on. You know, it's like, granted that I have a moment, they want it out there. So interesting to see anyway. Thanks for joining me here for this reading. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will catch you guys in another video. Bye.